So again, we're back. I think this is part two. Um, so understanding that leadership is a spiritual thing more than a physical thing. Let's go now to part three. What was God's order for leadership? Yeah. So again, we go back to the Bible. I'm only speaking about this from a Bible perspective because that's what up until this point I know. Yeah. So in God's order of leadership, when you look at the Israelites, God's order was he wanted to be the ruler of the nation. So that was his ideal module, that he wanted to be the leader of the nation, and through him being the leader there would be a prophet that he would speak through. So he was the leader, and then there was someone that he would speak through to be able to lead the nation and to govern the nation. For example, when we're talking about the Exodus, we see that God had Moses as his right hand person that he would speak through and then help. Judges, Moses would do a lot of the work, but you see later on God took the spirit of Moses and then distributed it to other people to be able to help him with the rulership of the Israelites, because it was a bit more overwhelming for Moses. But also, when Moses was not away, the people that he left uko chini were not able, that was Aaron and Miriam, were not able to steer the people in the right way. Aaron had been called as a priest into. So when Moses was not away, when Moses had gone to consult with the Lord, Aaron was supposed to help with governance in the Israel camp, but he was not able to do that. But anyway, and so I remember that the in-law of Moses ndo alikuja akamwambia, hey, you know what, let us begin to, you need to appoint other people to be able to help you to do this, to govern the people, because it is not going as it's supposed to go. And so yeah, so up until there we've understood that. So when you come to this place, in the time of Samuel, Eli, and Saul, we see that again Samuel, God was the leader, but the people of Israel decided to cry out to God and ask God for a leader. They wanted a physical leader to be able to look like other nations. And so God told Samuel, go tell them that if they appoint a leader, he will give them what they wanted. So I will give you to your own desires. But once I give you that, there is a set of warning that I want to give you, so that you may understand the consequence of what you're doing. So he told them that this leader will be able to impose tax on them, So he gave them a set of warnings. But God was so faithful to them and decided, what, you've asked for a leader, I'm going to give you a leader. And that's when Saul was appointed. So even when Saul was going to be appointed as a leader, he didn't know that he was going to be appointed. Again, it's a spiritual thing, that he had been anointed in the spiritual, and then it physically manifested. Yeah. And so he was appointed as a leader, but then Saul disobeyed God and did what he wanted to do, and then the hand of the Lord came, like God's hand was upon him, and so God took his hand and his favor, he put it on David. And so when Saul was still ruling, alikuwa amekalia kiti ya ufalme. So for example, let's just say for example, amekalia hapo, we can physically see him ruling, but what is happening in the spiritual realm, he's no longer seated on that throne. God has already enthroned someone else. So he has been dethroned from the throne that you're sitting on. In the spiritual, someone else is taken that position. It has already been done. So God has appointed David. David has been a couple, amemwagiliwa mafuta. He has been told, you're king of you have been appointed by the Lord as king over this nation. I have chosen you. You are my person. Ni wewe nimekweka. So he's already been appointed. And so now the original module of leadership, which was supposed to be God and then the prophets and then the people, has changed. So now there was God and then the prophets and then the kingship and then not the people. And so in Kenya, I remember when we entered into this government, we were just told that it's not we were told, the church that I was going to, and I still go, we're told that you need to understand that it's supposed to be the church and then the state. In that, the module that God had now, after people crying for physical leaders, is that the state is supposed to consult hand in hand the church, or consult God in what to be able to do. There needs to be there needs to be a partnership of working together, that God is involved in the matters concerning leadership. let's say your leader does not do that, guess what, they always consult. There's always in any state of leadership, there's always a spiritual backing concerning that person. Whether they are claiming to be Muslims, there is a spiritual backing. Whether you're claiming to be I don't know, Hindu, there's a spiritual backing. There's always a spirit, like there's always a spirit backing someone standing in leadership. There will never be, no one will ever sit on a throne and say mtu hata hatujui no. Whether he's consulting for the dark side or the other side, someone is backing someone, and a spirit, and there's always that. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's upon you decide to believe what you want to believe. Yeah. So now in Kenya's case, we came into elections, and the original idea has always been the state and the nation working together, the church and the nation consulting God, consult how the nation should be run, how the nation should go, how the leadership of the nation should be able to go. That was the original idea of Kenya's leadership. And so up until now, I have seen people saying, oh, kanisa menyamaza sana, oh, kanisa sijui nini nini nini. And it's okay. I mean, everyone is feeling a type of way concerning everything that you're seeing. Does it mean that God's hand was not upon the leadership that was there? Just because someone's humanity begins to show more than his other side, or if you deviate from what God is telling you to actually do. And I've seen people saying, oh, the church is very silent. I need you to tell you to listen to a couple of people who've never not spoken concerning things, leadership, concerning the government. Go see. I want you to go and on YouTube, go look at a man called a great man of this land called John C.W. He's always spoken concerning the matters of this nation. John C.W. and YouTube and uangalie. He's spoken to the leadership concerning this nation. Amewambia on his YouTube, it is there. Go check. He's never been afraid to actually speak. Go on YouTube, go look at Prophet Cynthia Nyamai. That's RIG East Africa, RIG Nairobi, however you want to see it. She's always spoken concerning matters this nation. Ever and ever and ever spoken cutthroat. Number 3, go look at Reverend Teresia Wairimo on YouTube. She's always spoken beginning of the year till now. Not even beginning. Go look at the word of the year. Go see what she has spoken. She's always spoken, and I've been to that church. I have seen a lot of leaders going to that church, and I know it is very hard to believe sometimes when I've seen people not believing that, oh, kanisa sijui mnapatiwa. There are people who are actually upright and they do not take what you guys are taking or what you think that people are taking at the back end. There are people who have chosen to fear the Lord more than they fear men, and to stand before people and speak what God is telling them to speak. There are people who are standing and speaking, just that you're not aware of them. And just because you're not aware of them does not mean that the church and the people are silent. You are not aware of them. It's the same way that there are people who are not aware of me because they don't know me, and that's fine. I'm not saying that everyone must know me, but what I'm trying to say is that people have always spoken, only that you're not aware of it. And so coming out to say an allegation of, oh, kanisa sijui mnachukua pesa, all of you are the same, all of you are taking, all of you are here eating, all of you mko pamoja, I think that's a false allegation. Very false. A very, very false allegation concerning the church. Not everyone is out here. Not everyone is out here to take, to steal, to be fed by the government. There are people who are looking at the money and saying no. There's a remnant. Actually, there's a remnant. There's a remnant of leaders, church leaders, who've decided to stand by God's side to be able to tell the nation how it needs to run. So that's number 1. I want you, whoever's gonna fall on this page, Reverend Teresia Wairimo, she's always spoken. Actually, even 4, I can give you 4. Reverend Teresia Wairimo, Apostle Kimani, Prophet Cynthia, John C.W. Go watch them. And it's because some of you mnaendanga kanisa once in a while, so hata mwendangi hizo kanisa, so you will never know. And no one is just here to beg anyone